Welcome to the Stockinette Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Jane Itma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 215. It's a good number.
Yeah.
215.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I don't know. Sounds like, what are you doing? When are you going there?
Late.
2:15.
Oh, okay. Yes, the quarter after. No, I was thinking that it didn't sound very high after some of my podcasts lately, or like at their 800th episode.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yes.
How did they get so many?
Mm-hmm. Have you been enjoying our fine Minnesota summers?
Well, after it cooled off, yeah. It was a bit hot, and now it's like, so crisp in the morning and crisp in the evening. I love it. It's my favorite.
We have like a whole house fan where we're blowing air out from the attic, and we've got stuff sucking the cold air in at night, and it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the nice things about Minnesota is the summers. We've been biking a lot, so just tonight, Jeremy and I got on our bikes, and Jeremy's got a big dummy, which is a Surly bike that's got an extended axle, and he pulled the two older kids' bikes behind him, and we went and picked up the kids from school-age childcare. Oh, on bikes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was something to do. What else has been going on? Have you been watching any of the Olympic trials?
No. I mean, they seem to be on, but no, I haven't been,
They are indeed on.
keeping up with any of it.
They're down near my old stomping grounds. So in Omaha, Nebraska, has been hosting them at the Xcel Energy Center, I believe, for many, many a year. It makes me kind of homesick. Like, well, I should go home one of these days and take those in. And then growing up, my sister Melissa was a collegiate, swam for Iowa State swimmer, and then my brother and I both swam competitively, in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So
You like following the swimming. That's
I do.
what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. Yep. My kids went to visit Grandma.
I think I saw that.
So
Fishing, right?
Yeah. Yes. They visited Grandma Dottie, Grandma Ann, and got to hang out with their cousin Ben, and then we came to get them this past weekend. So, yeah, had a house without kids, and I thought, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and apparently when you have a full-time job, a lot of that tiredness comes from the job, not necessarily the kids. Because I get home and I'm like, oh no, I think the kids gave me energy. Like I get home and there's no kids there, I feel tired. I just want to sit around, and we went out to eat.
Yeah, well, that can make you tired.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, it was one of those things where I just thought, I'm going to get caught up on, organizing this section of the house, right? Like, I'm going to go through that, pile over there and donate and trash and all that stuff. And no, just too tired to do it.
That's generally how any free time in my life goes.
Yep.
Like, I schedule like 17 things that will be accomplished because I have, I took a half day, or I'm, whatever. And then if I even get one of them done, I'm lucky, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the concept of free time just means that you're going to be super productive and able to accomplish anything that that your heart desires. And then what else has been, I don't know, I've been feeling pretty outdoorsy. Like, I'm spending a lot of time with waiting for the kids to be done with tennis lessons, because we've got 2 hours 2 nights a week here in the summer, and then got asked to play co-ed soccer last Friday. And been hobbling around ever since. Not that I got injured, just that it uses different muscles.
Okay.
So Jeremy was like, "You're in good shape. Like, you go run. Like, how are you, like, unable to get out of bed or sit on a toilet or?" And I'm like, if I got on the soccer field and all I did was do like wind sprints, but when you're doing soccer, you move a lot laterally, and you're doing different things with your legs, and you're engaging your core, and it's different.
Yeah. Had, well, not a similar, I tried a new exercise at the CrossFit gym, and it did not go well. There's a thing called a glute and ham developer, and they call them GHDs. So if you
So it sounds like PhD.
Yeah, if you Google that thing, I'm sure you can see videos of people doing them, but it's an ab workout where your feet are locked into an elevated thing and you stretch back behind you, touch the ground, and launch yourself forward to touch your toes. And I did way too many of those. I was warned several times that these are not for beginners, and I'm like, well, I've done them before. And
do I look like a beginner to you?
Well, and then the scaled down version, I can do those without trouble, right? Like I don't feel like sore or immobile after I do this scaled down version. Yeah. So again, not good. 63 of them was too many.
That does sound like too many of just about anything if you're doing it for the first time, maybe.
No, I have done those before.
Okay.
I was not a complete novice. I just hadn't done that many in a single day. So I thought, I am up for this challenge. I was not up for that challenge.
Yeah. Sounds like me and soccer.
I was a little sore the rest of the week.
Yes. Well, and I feel as it just hits you a little bit harder, you know. Like it's been several years since I've played soccer. Since I was running marathons, because I kind of quit playing soccer because I didn't want to injure myself after months and months of marathon training. And so I kind of got super spooked and superstitious about it and didn't do it, and then just kind of got out of the,
all the lateral movement causes a lot of strains. That's all I'm saying. And then like cleats hitting your shins and no. So many.
Had so much fun though. So much fun. It was like exercise, but like, not exercise because I was competing in something. But yeah, I've wanted to get back in the pool now too after watching all of the.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And that'll hit you pretty hard too. That's a full body workout. My upper body doesn't get nearly enough workouting like it does when I jump into a swimming pool. So all that to say, yeah,
we had a fun week.
We did.
Got a lot done.
Yes, lots of enjoying of the Minnesota weather. Okay, well, I didn't know if you wanted to mention, I guess it's past now, your Help Me Knit My Stash.
Right. Well, I had a Help Me Knit My Stash impromptu hashtag giveaway on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, I am, I might do things like that. I guess I don't know if I'm going to do that again quickly. But basically, I had people suggest patterns to me, and they could win an item from my stash. So I already announced today 2 winners for that. I drew them on Sunday, but we were picking out what they were going to take, and then I wanted to, finish that up before I posted what they had won or what they had chosen, before it whisked its way on to its new home. But yeah, we had 2 winners. They suggested some really great patterns. One of them is vamping. That was from Isa in Portugal, and she suggested vamping, and I thought it would look great with handspun, and then some of my deep stash I had. It just seemed like a good fit, and I liked the simplicity of it. And then the next one was striped bolting. So I'm knitting a bolting in gray, and I'm knitting a lot of gray. And so it was just exciting to see, like, oh, look at it all dolled up with color. So, and that was 4 different potential stash items that could go into that shawl. So I thought, oh, that's another interesting thing. So I might have to do a similar one for my non-fingering weight yarn, like have one for my worsted weight single skeins, because I have quite a few of those too.
Yeah.
Where people can suggest stuffies and hats and things like that.
But that was kind of your genius thought behind culling your herd, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. We were talking about how we had all of this great stash from the past that's just sitting there, and so I thought, well, give me ideas for what to do with it, and I can, also give some of it away.
Double.
Yeah.
And I've culled my herd, and I don't know how quickly we'll be doing similar, but help me, come up with ideas, giveaway. Yep. But I enjoyed looking at that hashtag. It became one of my recently searched hashtags on Instagram. So,
yeah, and again, when Megan's comes around, do it. It's a lot of fun, and it does contribute to the community, give people ideas.
Yes. And other people chimed in and said as well that they would be following it because they were looking for single skeins of fingering ways to incorporate those and get inspired. What about that? Row.
Yeah, mark the time. I was wondering how long it would take me to get into a mess, but I don't know what I did. Okay.
We also currently have the Scrappy Happy KAL going on, which has the fabulous prize, and I grabbed it just so that we'd have something to show off. But the beautiful rainbow bag, rainbow skeins, the Turvis-like mug, which will not be referred to as anything but Turvis-like from now on by me, because that's all I can think of. We've got the fantastic chocolates. Hopefully those are still good, holding up. And then a bag full of goodies, a pouch, double zippered pouch, and stickers and giveaways, and our needle minder. So yes, jump in on that. It should be a good time. I enjoy using up scraps. I've been using up scraps, not all in the same project, but I have been using up scraps lately. So I'm working my way into a big Scrappy Happy project, I guess. And that was all I had as far as administrati. We both have, you've got your hexagons, your Persian Dream hexagons, KAL going on, and I've got the self-strafing, so.
Yes, the stripe bolting was suggested by Stephanie Sows, and the reason did I mention that she had, but Stephanie was doing our KAL with us, and she said, I was so happy to see you were falling behind. and I'm like, yeah, it's probably good to see when somebody kind of falters in this thing, because, we're not perfect, and things do come up that, ooh, shiny, I don't want to work on that thing that I've been working on for months, I want to work on something else.
Laid plans and all.
Yeah. So, just having her say that did have me knitting a few rows on it here recently, but not a lot. So I still have some catching up to do. But we could probably get into finished objects.
We sure could.
So I have the... Hello, sir.
He wanted to see what your finished objects were.
Oh, okay. He was also kind of sniffing my hair.
Oh, okay.
Maybe so I have a Measure in Love hat from with yarn from Dana of Unwind.
The Targi?
Yes. Unwind Yarn Company. I forget the colorway. You have this one too.
It is, yep, you would say that, and then my brain is
okay. Well, I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
It has something to do with love.
But beautiful combination of pattern and
yes, looks super
yarn.
Swooshy.
And it is just that. It is wonderful. I enjoyed knitting another Measure in Love. I think that this is my third, if not fourth, of this pattern. And then, what else? Oh, and then I had knit it in a Fat Squirrel bag.
Okay.
That was the bright green
for the Pal Cal.
For the Pal Cal. And I entered my entries. So I have 3 entries. Now I did see that they're also having, so if you're following along, I just scratched myself on a needle. Anyway, so if you're following along with that, they also had something about tools. So they had sponsorships that aren't necessarily something that you could knit with or put in a project bag, but like stitch markers or wool wash or needle keepers. You know, things that to put your needles in, like Delicue bags.
Got it.
Basically, was what I was thinking of. And so those sponsors list, you can just kind of show, like, oh, during this KAL, even if I don't finish, I was using this, and so you could put those into that entry. It's a separate thread, separate entry. So if you feel like, oh yeah, I do have some of that stuff and I do use it and love it, you can go show your love for those sponsors over in that thread, as well as get entered into a prize.
Cool.
So, but that's enough talking about other things. So, yeah, I finished that one entry and I do have another one started.
Small projects like that are nice when it's really warm out.
Yes.
There's not a lot sitting on your lap per se.
So I finally finished my Rose City Rollers for myself. And I haven't worn them yet. It's a little too warm for me. But I could probably try it one evening here, just now that they're done.
We were just telling my daughter I wear my socks, my hand knit socks, every day to work. So if you're in a cool, air-conditioned office, you could wear your Rose City Rollers.
But yeah, I mean, they certainly went quicker than any other project that I worked on recently. So I do appreciate that about them, and I hope that I get great enjoyment out of them.
They look super cute.
Yeah. And it was fun to just do more or less a plain sock, right? Just knit. Knit. Let's knit until we get to the heel and keep knitting, and it'll be great.
Just keep knitting.
Yes. My kids got to see that, and I didn't.
So we have not yet gotten to it.
Well, neither have I. My kids saw it.
That's what I have to wait. Would you like to take my kids?
I will take one or two.
No, 3. 3 is unmanageable. Unruly herd at that number.
No, I'm sure they'd be fine.
Yeah, the movie itself would probably be a little entertaining. It might have like a couple of like, I need to go to the bathrooms, or I spilled my popcorn all over the ground. But
that's not my money.
Yeah, that's to be expected with those kids. All right.
Yeah, that's it for my finished objects. I had 2.
I did not show off my wee OMGs the last time we podcasted, but I've got them on a little ring. A couple of these were pre the retreat, and then during class I finished a couple of others. So I've got my Yarn Geek fibers, and my Another Crafty Girl, and my Nomadic Yarns, and my Marigold Jen, and my Show Me Yarn stripey leftovers, and then went a little Scrappy Happy Tastic. Uh-oh, my zipper's stuck. Come on, zipper. I think it was a me failure, not a zipper failure. I don't have leftovers from all of the socks that I'm going to knit this year. I think ideally that would be cool to have 52 little wee socks, but this is the Targhee from Diabolical, which, I mean, they look so different at such a small little diameter.
They do.
And this is another Marigold Jen. This is another Crafty Girl in the Gamut. This is another Crafty Girl in the Boomerang Fish. This is there's just a lot. Marigold Jen, or not Marigold Jen, Spartacus in the Somewhere Over the Rainbow, or Where Bluebirds Fly, maybe. And this was a self-striping. That was the self-striping socks that I finished last time we podcasted. But yeah, I put it in here, so it's kind of like a little go bag. I've got needles in there and some scraps, and I can, if I wanted to cast on my little wee toe and go to town, I can. And then I went a little monkey crazy. I had my 2 perfect 10s that were the ZK 2016 prize winners that both picked out another Crafty Girl. And so this is, I decided to make 2 monkeys because when I kind of get on a kick, I get on a kick. And I think Sarah's super variegated yarns just totally get translated so well in this monkey pattern. So these are for Miss Leah, and she had the meticulously documented in her projects how many rows she had above in the cuff, and how many. So hers is a little longer on top because I got from her project pages that she likes a longer leg. And then I have Miss Amy's boomerang fish, and I just love them both so much. And I kind of chuckled at myself when I was like, well, I knit these, but they're not my monkeys, but they are my sock circus. You know, saying not my monkeys, not my circus. Well, in a turn of phrase here. And something just slays me about these. So I put, obviously, Monkey Socks by Cookie A are a top-down, because she's a top-down sock kind of gal. I knit them toe up. I put a spacious OMG heel in them. But the slip stitches on her, they just slay me. I just love those heels so much. Look at that. And you may not be able to see it, but... and having them both here together, I haven't mailed them off, makes me happy too. For some reason, having the little set of them to sit next to each other, and they're just little sock besties hanging out. Leah and Amy will have to hang out and have their socks be reunited.
Yeah. For sure.
Because they hung out a little bit. And then I finished the sleeves on my Carpino. Super duper love it. Put I think I mentioned last time, put the shaping in it. I went in my head, there is no possible way this yarn could get any softer when I washed it. And then it did. And then it went and it did. It was like, I see your challenge, Megan, and I will go above and beyond. Wow. Yes.
It makes me want to get my stuff on the needles.
Your hedgehog fibers. I saw the Loopy U, which I don't know if they still have it, has a whole bunch, and they had this colorway that you could get. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't the ones that I was looking at, but yeah, I saw a bunch of them.
Yes.
And I resisted, but I have a gift card there right now.
Yeah.
I might have to order something.
And she just recently had some spots open up in her stash.
I know, that's the problem, right? I just
cleared out some space.
I just let some go.
My bins can officially close now, so.
Is that true?
It is.
Oh, wow.
I called. I'm telling you. And it's sitting like in little, like, where it, what's it called? Why can't I think it? Quarantine.
Oh,
like it's like you're not in the stash anymore, but you haven't been given away. Maybe I'll knit with you if you get priority placement because you are homeless now. But yes, I absolutely love this. Somebody mentioned they thought it would be a great swimsuit cover-up, and I don't think you would have to do anything to modify it as a swimsuit cover-up. You just wear that bad boy over the top of the swimsuit. Or you wear it over the top of the tank top. And these colors. But it's a very light layer. Like, you're not going to be breaking any cold wind chills with this at this gauge. Like, it's a nice little, not heavy when it's on you. And again, really love the variegated and how this simple lace knit up in it. And then in trying to suggest to Amy things to do with her single awesome skeins, I enabled myself, as well as the, I think it's Letty's knits, but I think it's supposed to look like Let's knits, Lete. She, apostrophe S, Letty's. Justina, I believe, is the designer, and I won't butcher her last name, but it's a free pattern. So it's free, it's fun, it's reversible, it's pretty darn mindless, and it does some pretty awesome stuff with the, so you start down here. It's kind of like a hitchhiker, in that it's kind of, you start small, it gets bigger. You're doing a little bit of a bind off every 5 rows. Again, not giving anything away because it's free. And I just think that it it just really made at least this yarn sing. So this is Rocket Man by 3 Irish Girls in their Adorn Luxe base, and it's fingering on 6s. So it just was zoom. And you can tell when I absolutely love something and it's fun and mindless because it just gets done. Yeah, it just got done. I did a little bit. She had a picot edging, and I just decided that I was going to extend this lace across. And so the way the pattern works is you're actually offsetting these bind offs by doing a double yarn over here. So you bind off 8 and you increase 8 by doing double yarn overs. And I thought maybe that would make the edge a little floppity. But then I was thinking, but that's kind of like a stretchy bind off, right? Where you're working the stitches and they'll just be, so I extended the lace pattern. I didn't do a really great job blocking out on the edges. I didn't get the wires out. I just used pins. That's my way of like dry blocking it.
She steam blocks them with her breath.
Yeah, it works a little bit. But it's a really fun shape. I really love this colorway, and it's super wearable. I like the asymmetrical triangles. It just you throw one end over and bam. So yes. It's going to look like 3 Irish Girls sponsored me this week because I did buy some when I was in Duluth, but I love their colorways and would highly recommend if you've got any sitting in your stash that you
knit it up.
You knit it up and do a close to you, and the story will just slay you when you go out and read it. Like I shared it with my husband, and he's not really a mushy guy, so I didn't expect him to be like, oh, but basically her husband asked her to buy some undyed yarn. And she was like, well, I hope he doesn't ruin it, like in her head. And then he dyed it up and it was beautiful and fantastic. And she was like, well, what made you want to dye yarn in the first place? And he said, to be close to you. Because, she's a knitter and it was, a shared, that would be one way that they could share that passion, right? Yeah, exactly. I had and my husband was like, I would never dye yarn for you. Was like, nor did I think you would. Sweet husband of mine. Nor did I think you would. But, I mean, could you imagine your husband dyeing yarn for you? No. They're just not, they might brew us a beer. Like my husband's tried to make me a cider before. Because when I drank, I used to like ciders.
We're just all about the everyday, right?
Okay.
Do the
he
dishes.
Loves you every day.
Do the dishes. Take the kids to school on days that I want to work out.
Yeah. My husband every weekend shows his undying love for me in that he gets up with the kids and lets me sleep in.
Oh, there you go.
And he knows that means like the world to me. I love to sleep in. It's like my thing. I stay up way too late knitting and doing whatever, and then it's just nice to be able to be like, so, yeah.
I sleep in, but our kids are self-sufficient in the AM these days. So
we're getting there. We're getting there.
It's one of those things like, oh yeah, they're getting their own cereal, and I could stay here if I wanted to.
Fun. So yes, that I have been doing a fair bit of designing, but it's like knit a sock, work on a swatch, knit another sock, pull out the thing that I was just working on.
So when you're not finishing Carpino sleeves and knitting a shawl.
Yep, exactly. I'm kind of processing. I don't know. I think it's good. As far as designing, if I had any like rules of thumb, for me, I have to keep knitting like, not mindless. None of these things are mindless. But things where I'm not creatively trying to engage. It's just nice to have something on the needles that it's like, well, I'm not making this up as I go along and having to write it down and having to keep track of,
Yep.
So.
Something really mindless.
Yeah.
If you're looking at me like I'm a crazy person, you need to hand wind linen twice to soften the hand.
I was kind of looking at her like you're crazy. I don't know if you guys picked that up, but I was like, didn't she just wind that there? Was the first time not good enough?
But it really does change the hand of it.
Does it hurt your hand now, though?
It does a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need like a glove? Like a linen glove?
A linen glove.
No glove, no love.
Yeah, it's something different.
Okay.
I think you're confusing that.
I do get things confused sometimes.
So speaking of which, I got really far and then forgot that I hadn't wound any more yarn. So this is as far as I got. See the tail?
Mm-hmm.
It is waiting for more yarn.
Do you ever have that moment like when you're pulling out of a bag and like it just like sneaks up on you? Like, oh, okay.
This one was kind of like that because the ball was about this big and I looked down and went, well, I guess I'm just going to knit until it's done. And I knew that winding linen was a process, right?
Yes.
So it wasn't going to just be throw it on the winder and go, so I was a little distressed. And it's probably not something you have to do, but if you work linen a couple times before you start knitting it, it does knit more evenly into the garment, as well as feels nicer as you're knitting it, and hopefully will have that beautiful magic after you wash it and block it. So anyway, tips that I've gotten, and so
linen seems to be a very timely thing to knit right now.
yeah.
I have been looking at your progress pics and when you hold things up and going, I have some linen that did not get cold.
Yeah.
That I should be working with. But.
And again, like I was working on this top so much that I thought, I'm going to be done like in no time. And then I got to the point where I needed to wind some more. And then I went, that doesn't sound like fun. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. So now I'm going to have enough to get through another big push. So I'm excited about that. But let's see, what else? I am working on my hexies.
Mm-hmm.
So here's getting close to being done hexie, and then I have 2 more to get caught up to July. So finish this one and then I'll be in July and I'll need to knit 2 in July. So hopefully finish this one before July hits, which is Friday. So yeah, get busy. But I'm towards the top, and I think that things move pretty fast on those hexies once you commit to them. And then my sister-in-law is getting married, and so I got a bug up my butt to knit her a lovely shawl. So I have a lace shawl.
Sister-in-law, so she's not marrying into the family. She's already part of your family?
She is my husband's sister.
Okay, there we go. That makes perfect sense.
Yes, and she is getting married. We don't have a date yet, but November was tossed around, so needed to get cast on immediately, so that I would have time to fall in love with it a couple times, because I think if I had to knit straight through until it was done, I would want to gouge my eyes out. I love lace, and it is addicting, and it is exciting, but white is not. So,
I was going to say, did you specifically go out and buy that, or did you have it in stash?
I did actually go out and buy it.
Okay.
So I said, saw the dress, I know what it looks like, and thought this pattern would be really nice with it, and then thought, well, it's got to be white. It's a wedding. She has picked an accent color, but I thought that I would do the Flower Girls, like little chalettes in that, since Lucy is one of them, or an attendant, I guess. She's the Flower Girl is the little girl, and then she is the older person who gets to wrangle the Flower Girl. But still an exciting thing, so I wanted to knit her a little chalette. I've already have the pattern picked out, and I probably have ideas on the yarn, but I want to make sure of the color scheme. So as soon as the date is picked, I will start asking the sister-in-law for details about that. So that is getting some love, and it's Jaeger spun. They're super fine merino. It is a true lace weight, and this pattern is from Victorian Lace, I believe. I don't have the details. And I've got some beads that I'm putting in there, not a ton, I figured if it needed weight after I had it blocked, I would add beads to the edges. But right now it's just scattering. They're going into the eye of the lace pattern.
Amy's got her own knitting circus going on there. With trying to knit things for brides and the wedding party.
Yeah, it's
her own brand of crazy.
No, not the wedding party. Little girls.
Okay.
So Sarah gets one and the little girls.
Okay, got it.
The 2 women that are her best friends. No. I love you, ladies. No. So another thing that I cast on and have been working on is my Beach Please. So this is Beach Please, and it's Leading Men Fiber Arts Ghost Light. I believe it's London Fog and Lightning Bug, but I haven't gotten to the Lightning Bug yet, so I feel like I am knitting yet another gray sweater, and it's kind of dragging on my soul. I mean, I'm having fun, but at the same time, I'm like, gray, 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 white, 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 gray, 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 white, white, white. This is just so boring.
It's the middle of summer.
Yeah, exactly. Why am I gray and white? What did I do to myself? So to combat that in the last few days, and again, I didn't go back to old projects and finish them. No, I started new ones.
That's what Amy's do.
Yes, this is what Amy's do. So I have my Show Me Yarns mini skeins going into a sock, and I wanted to put them into a compression by Josh Ricks, but with the crazy splatter, I just figured what he's trying to do in that pattern would get lost. It really is for solids, or maybe tonals, but not splattered. So I thought better of it, and I wanted to showcase the yarn and not the pattern. So we're just doing plain socks. And I had some leftover Vilma's from a while back, and it's black and white and gray, and I thought that would look really great with the splatter rainbow. So I'm doing toes and heels and cuffs in the black and white, and accenting with the lovely rainbow. And hopefully, if I do this correctly, I've been weighing, I should also have enough to add little squares to my blankie.
Oh, I see.
So with adding in that white, give me enough yardage to add at least one square to my blankie. I'm excited
to see what you're doing there.
And then last but not least, and not the last project that I'm working on, but it's the only ones that are active. Again, everything with me is active whips. You're never going to see all of them.
Unless she's trying to like work them down.
Yeah, working down, yeah. But right now that would be terrible. Terrible idea. Well, maybe someday.
Finishing things. Whew. Why would you ever want to do that?
I have way too many large, long-running projects right now. Knitting to zero would be really hard.
Yeah.
But I could knit all the smaller things, right? And then just have those 2 long-running projects sitting. Anyway, Vamp. This is the last one. So this is the suggested pattern that Isa gave to me, and Vamping. They had knitted in a knit circus gradient in the pattern. It looked very nice, but I decided to use my zebra ball. I think this is Tropical Fish colorway. I believe the lovely Mandy Bacon Fairy gave this to me in a swap a long time ago. So it's finally getting on the needles, and it's finally finding its happy forever home, and I am so very excited about it. So that is Vamping.
Kind of looks like
starting
a banana hammock you got going on there a little bit.
Yeah. Little panty action, a little, yeah.
Not a granny panty.
No. That's sexy panty.
Yep, it's even got a little cuppage going.
Well, hopefully it gets out of that stage before you see it again.
I can't remember, was that what Leslie was knitting? I don't think it was, but it was a very similar shape.
Yeah, there's quite a few patterns that I noticed were similar.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know if
there's a picture out on Instagram of Matt holding up
that
shawl piece.
Okay. Well, I have pictures of Matt
Holding up flags as well.
Flags, yeah.
It was a whole series.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have all the series. No.
Go check it out.
Somebody needs to show the series.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, I'm loving the way Tropical Fish is knitting up, and I'm excited. So cool. I can start working on that. Or finish winding my ball.
The only work in progress. Did you have any more? No.
Okay.
Okay. The only work in progress that's fit to be shown that I can show on camera currently, as I do have design work going on, is I wanted to immediately cast on this new acquisition, which is a Brew City Yarns. I was enabled by Instagram for this, I believe. They had like a Memorial Day sale with the percentage off.
Okay.
And they also had Firefly, and you'll see an enabling Seuss related colorways. So this is their premium draft sock. It's really soft, as a very, very, very soft hand. And it's the little albatross, which is a Firefly reference. I tried doing Hermione's. I tried doing several other kind of just added a bit of texture, and I wasn't liking the way that it was coming out. It just didn't, it was getting lost because some of the darker pops really popped, and then if it wasn't a pearl or part of the texture. So I just decided to do a plain stockinette. As you were saying, it goes, sometimes that's nice to just have like you can pick it up and at any point and not need to know what you're doing really. And I think this kind of ends up looking a little bit like a sock blank. Like the way that it's knitting up. But this is a sock for my mom, who has, I will not say the size of feet, but also very wide. So I'm feeling like the length of the foot, like the shoe size, it doesn't really kill me. It's the width that's like soul sucking to me at this point. But people do have wider feet than mine, obviously. And then I've got a enabling / needle adjacent. So my Camp Loopy Project 2 is going to be a dark pearl, and it's really cute. They're doing a pirate theme this year. The first one was some techniques, so like brioche-like or cable-like, or can't remember what the pirate reference was now, what the tie-in was. But this was a lost treasure or a buried treasure. And so it was something that you've always wanted to knit, or it's been in your queue for quite some time. So I have Carol Feller's Dark Pearl, which is kind of like your Pont Neuf, but in fingering weight, in that it's just like one of those mama vertebrae, but then you pick up stitches and you work them this way to do the asymmetrical cardigan. So it goes across. And I was very intrigued by this fine base. You should feel it. It's going to feel really soft compared to that linen. I could hand you anything right now and you would probably be like, oh my gosh, it's so soft. This is BFL, so it's 70% BFL, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. And I think this is just going to be drapey, fantastic. And as I said, that's going to be a dark pearl for Camp Loopy Project 2. And that's Posh Fingering, and it's the Uncommon Thread. And the colorway is Leaden. Leaden? Yeah, it would be Leaden, not leaden, perhaps. But I really like the depth of color on this yarn. I'm sure it has something to do with the base, but there's really, there's light parts and then there's a really nice dark overtone to it. I don't know if that's the silk or the cashmere or the BFL, but they are just fantastic together. I can't wait to knit them up. So that is a needle adjacent. That can go on on Friday.
Oh,
July
okay.
1st.
Gotta wait.
1st, yes, next month. Did you want me to continue on into my enameling? Or
No,
did you-
I only have a few.
Okay.
So,
I just felt judged a little bit. I only have a few.
So, we got a new table and chairs
Cool.
at our house, and
This is like post-baby
Yeah.
ruining of furniture.
yeah, and we got a nice cover for it so that the animals can't ruin it potentially, and et cetera, et cetera. Of course, now the cat has decided that it's new and shiny and she wants to be on it all the time, and that the new tablecloth is like interesting, and she like messes it up,
Yeah.
and like you're like,
Who, me?
what? But I also wanted some table placemats, because that way anything hot or whatever doesn't get placed directly on the wood, and like have mommy have a flip out. So we got a Star Wars on one side and Star Trek on the other.
Sacrilege.
Pick your
Nerdery?
yes,
Your geekery?
pick your faction.
Okay.
Like, are you going to be Wars or Trek? I can tell you that Mom is more Trek than Wars, and Dad is more Wars than Trek. And the kids have Star Wars, because Star Trek is just a little bit older than Star Wars.
Yeah.
So anyway, loving the double-sided placemat. I also ordered, these are from my mom, the Silver Shed USA. Also ordered some that are individually. So mine's going to be knit stitches. My daughter's going to have horses. My son's going to have Minecraft. And Dad is going to have twins baseball. And something else, I don't know. But love the dual-sidedness so that I can choose what I want to show.
Machine washable?
Yep, these are our post-washing. So this is what it looks like after I've washed it already. You know, that first week the cat thought that they were super awesome to sit on. So they got...
What? These aren't cat beds?
Exactly. So this is post-washing. They look much nicer now. That the cat...
If the cat had to choose a fabric, what would it be?
I don't know. Which one did she sit on more? No, she more wanted to knock them off the table.
Oh, okay.
Than sit on them. But, yeah.
When given the choice to make a choice, she was like, I choose neither.
Yeah, I choose neither. Knock it off the table. So I was enabled by a coupon code as well. This is Rocks and String.
Okay.
Came with a little T. Tassel T. But this one's a self-striping Appalachian Autumn.
Ooh.
Very fall-tastic colors. I have yet to knit with her stuff. I have another skein that I bought a while back that's gray and yeah. Yeah. I actually have a Three Irish Girls that's very similar to this. This is Zippity Doo Dah. Zippity Doo Dah. And it's very speckle-tastic and pretty, pretty, pretty. So I'm excited to send this along. Oops, I didn't say that.
No.
Yeah, you didn't hear that.
Okay.
So I am excited about these new acquisitions.
Yes. For sure. For sure.
So awesome sauce. And then my other thing that required some F5 fingering, for sure, is that I have a Andre Sue. So Andy. So Andre Sue knits. And she does hand painted blanks. So she makes the stencils and then hand stencils them into place on top blanks.
So beautiful.
So this is Deer and Woods, very cute. Did it say no? So I love this one. I was kind of like momentarily distracted by another one that was in the update, but this one was meant to come home with
But
me.
it didn't distract you for too long because you
Well,
wanted
yeah.
to grab that one.
I was, but it did get cart jacked.
Mm.
So it was like, oh, well, I'm only meant to get the deers. Okay. Dears,
Oh,
check
dear.
out. Check out. Quick. She updates every Monday. You can follow her on Instagram and see all her beautiful things. By saying this, I'm sure that it'll be harder to get than it already was. And but super cute stuff. She also every once in a while knits a sock out of them, so you can kind of see how they would kind of work up. And they do end up being light. You can see it's not all the way through on the back. So it does end up looking a lot lighter than the front.
A little speckly.
Yeah, and very speckly. Again, like the one there, she's got one that's like gnomes. I almost wanted that one. There's one that's koi.
Cats.
The cat one was the one that distracted me.
Sheeps. I've seen sheeps.
And then gnomes and flamingos, koi fish. The koi fish is the one that I like. The colors in it, I think that in a sock working up out of the blank would be really interesting. It's got orange and blues and greens and so pretty. But I'm happy to have this one. It's a sparkle base, and
it would be hard for me. I was looking at some of her like that with the trees, because I am a sucker for the trees, because my sister was a forester. I'd be hard pressed to actually knit it. I mean, you'd want it. It's
really pretty.
It's really pretty. It's like it's an art in and of itself. And
yes.
Would you deconstruct a canvas, a hand painted canvas, to create some paper? You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I agree. A lot of people had mentioned that to her, like they would just want to frame it. I mean, they were so happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But yeah, again, really nice stuff. Happy to have won my F5 challenge. I even had Megan wish me luck. I was like, wish me luck this morning. I'm F5ing. She said, all right, good luck.
Yes.
But yeah, I was happy to get it. It's beautiful, and I'm excited to. I don't know. It's going to stay whole for a while.
Yep.
I can enjoy its loveliness as is. But on to you, my dear.
Okay, sorry. I was letting you do your thing. All right. So I, before the retreat came about, did some online ordering. You saw this loveliness from Brew City. Also in Brew City, I got the Can't Take the Sky From Me, which is a firefly. Can I take this one? Speckled hat. You can't take the sky. Can't take the sky from me. Can't Stop the Signal, which is another firefly speckled tack stick.
Wow, he killed me.
The sword. No. And this is the Places, Dr. Seuss. And I'm a sucker for that, because I was of the era that they were reading the the Places you will go at graduation ceremonies. I think that was a thing. So this is a Dr. Seuss. And I think all three of these would be fantastic as this shawl. And one of them may become said shawl, because I get kind of stuck on repeat lately. I don't know if you've noticed that. Very soft. Really like this base. I will let you know how it wears and how it washes up, but just right in the skein, super soft. Like it. Can't Take the Sky From Me.
I want that one.
I showed it to you before I ordered it. And then I went to Yarn Harbor.
I really don't remember that.
Pre-retreat.
Honestly, I don't remember that.
And they had some fantastic exclusive, because Three Irish Girls are their local girls. Exclusive to, not necessarily, some of them are exclusive to their shop, but all of them were inspired by Duluth. And so this is the Skyline Parkway.
I have some of that.
In Adorn Luxe, and I was like, at the time I was knitting my Carpino out of the super variegated, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something else with the super variegated.
It would be so interesting if I brought in my originals of those colorways, because the originals are so different.
Well, I handpicked these to go together. You know, some of the pinks are brighter on some of them, and some of the teals really pop, and some of the blacks are. But if you're going to be alternating skeins, you're not gonna notice. So that's that same base that this is.
Yeah, but the Skyline Parkway, the original, I don't think it has that much color in it. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Different.
Miss Ellie, I encourage the kids to pick something out because when you're buying souvenir yarn, you might as well knit something for your kids out of it because they were on the trip with you. I don't often take my kids on the trips with me, but when I do, I'm saying, you pick a souvenir yarn. This is Lakewood Flowers, again on the Adorn Luxe. I'm a big fan of it. Very fun pops of pink and blue and my green. And then Mr. Dexter picked out the North Shore, which has some very pretty blues and browns. And he's been bugging me to knit him a hat in the dead of summer. But this is going to be some sort of fingering weight hat for Mr. Dexter. Yeah. And again, in the Adorn Luxe. And Yarn Harbor was super nice. I literally ran there one day and like ran in the door and she was like, I'm so sorry, we're closed. I was like, but I just ran. My Instagram and my Ravelry name are Just Run Knit. And I just ran to an LYS. She's like, you can look around, but you can't buy anything. I was like, okay, I'll be coming back. So she was super sweet and super nice. Love the Yarn Harbor. And got me some of their local girl and their local indie inspired yarns. So yes. Cool. Yeah, and then I threw it to the side, but this was my my second month of the Yarn Enabler.
Oh, okay,
so,
wow.
Yeah, some bright colored pencil going on there. Colorway is June, Berrylicious. Yep, so we've got the lead and the eraser and the main. And I've skeined up one of, when I was culling, I was getting inspired, and grabbing them out, maybe a little expired. The yarn had expired. And caked up, got a little cake crazy.
It's a good thing it doesn't expire because we'd be in trouble.
Yes, I would indeed. And that is all the enabling that's fit to be had. I have not ordered any yarn since I culled, so I think I can say that. Yeah, okay. Good. Yeah. I'm like on a little diet here, but now that I've said it, I'm going to rebel against it.
It's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a problem now that I've pointed out that I haven't bought yarn in a while.
I do actually have, okay, so I have a cart that's been sitting for a while since our retreat, but I have no plans, like you said, like I've culled. I don't want any more to come in. So I need to finish some stuff before I, can reward myself with more.
Go a little crazy?
Yeah.
Go a little crazy.
I don't really want to go crazy, but I do want to purchase that cart. It's just 2 skeins from a particular dyer.
Okay.
And I haven't had their yarn before, so yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And it's one of those things where I leave it there, and then one of the skeins is unavailable, and then I go and I put another skein in, and then those 2 sit there until it says one of your yarns is no longer. And then I go out to their shop and I put another one in. I've been doing it since the retreat.
You're being cart jacked, but like on a monthly basis?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yeah, it's basically, it stays in there for a long time, but then I go in and look
it's more of a reminder that you wanted to buy something from that particular person than
Absolutely.
it is a specific skein. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do that too.
Yeah, that is correct. So anyway,
so that's 2 people that don't need any yarn whatsoever, but
do not need.
All right, everybody have a safe 4th of July.
Yes, absolutely.
See lots of fireworks, but again, be safe. And we'll see you come July.
Yeah, sounds good. Bye.
Bye, Ufta.